Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Toju and you are watching TM Creatives. So welcome back guys. It's been a few weeks now since my last video dropped. And in my last video we're looking at building understanding UI to code design, and we used a case study which I came up with, which was Family Guy, and we really covered part one of that particular tutorial. Part one, we just designed the UI for the Family Guy website landing page, and this time we're entering the part two now, which is to actually create code. We're going to do a bit of coding, the actual landing page, basically interpreting our UI to code. That's what we're doing. And I'm sorry that this video took so long to come out, and that is because I've also been focusing on my other YouTube channel. You can check it out, which is TMS Gaming. You'll see the link to the YouTube channel below. Please subscribe to that. TMS Gaming is just basically about just having fun. You can't be working and not have fun. It doesn't make sense, so check out my other channel, TMS Gaming. So back to it. We are going to be focusing on building and implementing the landing page. So basically you are going to be creating your first website landing page. Is that not exciting? Don't you feel happy doing that? So let's get right to it as we create this wonderful UI, to code task. So you can get on your system. I will advise you for this video, make sure you have VS Code. I'm going to leave all the links below so that you can set it up and start, because I'm not going to be doing the regular HTML learning and the rest. I want you guys to pick up very fast. So I'm going to be using Material Design Bootstrap, which is a CSS framework that can help us to achieve what we want to do. We're also going to be doing a lot of custom CSS, but and let me also say this. I said it in my last video. I explained what HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and even CSS frameworks, how they work. So like I said, just think of it as like a human anatomy, right? So you have like the muscle, you have the you have the skeleton, the bones, the muscle, the flesh, the clothing, everything. So that is how it is. So that's what we're going to be doing, and hopefully as we dive into this, you learn more about it. So stick with me as we learn this. So yeah, back again guys. So the very first thing we're going to be doing is establishing our folder. So you can go to your open document. Make sure you have your Visual Code installed, or you can use a notepad, whichever one is fine, but I prefer to use a Visual Code software. So let's click on new. Anywhere you want to establish your folder. So mine, I'm starting from my document folder, so I can just name this Family Guy tutorial. Now I click inside the Family Guy tutorial folder. The next thing I'm doing is more options. I'm going to create another folder here. So I'm going to call that folder img, because that is where we want to store all our images. Sorry, I made a mistake. img. So now that we've done this, we have to open our Visual Studio Code now. So new window, open another one. So this is what you see in your Visual Studio Code. So the next thing we do is come to File, then we go to Open Folder, then navigate it through your folder where you stored your this. So I'm picking it from here. So as you can see, we have our folder here. This is our folder now. So the next thing we do is create new file. Then we call this new file index.html. What just happened? Sorry. We call this new file. That's why I click here. Let's right click from here. Call the new file index.html. Then we can I prefer to just do external CSS, so I'm going to explain. Inline CSS is, so basically let me explain what I'm just going to give a brief explanation on what what HTML and CSS really mean. So HTML stands for hypertext markup language, and CSS is cascading styling sheets. So what this means is that these two work in hand in terms of web development, and we also have JS, which is JavaScript, but we're not going much into that. We're just trying to interpret UI to code, right? So these two work in hand, and for CSS is very diverse. So we have what they call CSS frameworks. What this means is that there are certain organizations or people who have come together to build to make life easy for us. So they created this framework whereby we don't need to actually be styling our CSS ourselves, except we want to. All we need to know the classes, and the CSS frameworks we're going to be using here is Material Design Bootstrap. You can also call it as Bootstrap, but this is like a whole different version of Bootstrap, right? So Bootstrap is the CSS framework we'll be using to actually do this project. So the very first thing we're going to do is to come to our index.html file. Then we're going to press this. So this is just going to bring out the necessary things that we need to start our project. So to do that, just press, rather than typing everything, just press shift exclamation mark, and you have this, right? So from here we've started our web development. So from here we can name our header, the title. So the title is, when you enter a web page, you see something like this. Let me open it. You see something like you see something over here, like over the title, over the tab. So that is where our own will be written on. So let's give that a try. So let's call this Family Guy Tutorial Website. So now let's open our file. So to preview our file, I was going to look for a shortcut to do that for you, but we can just do open with Chrome. Is there any? Okay, we can't configure that yet, so we can just go to our folder directly and just open it from there. So this is it. As you can see, the Family Guide tutorial that we had up there, it's there already. So sorry, let me close this down. Sorry. So as you can see here, we have our Family Guide tutorial written up here, tutorial website. So just to validate that. So next now I want us to do is to be putting our file. So I'm going to leave if you check the YouTube video description below, you're going to see all the files you need. So right now I'm just going to pick everything from here. So I'm going to move them to my img folder. I'm starting from scratch so that you follow through with what I'm doing. So this is what our finished. I just want to open the finished product, and we're able to work with that. So this is what we want to. This is exactly what we want to achieve, like this, right? So for us to achieve this, we then have to start putting everything in place. So the very first thing we'll do is we need to put in the we need to call in the CSS framework for CSS framework. So there are two ways. So one of the wonderful things about CSS frameworks is that there are two ways of using them. You can either download them as a folder or use their URL. So you don't need to so that your web folder does not need to be so humongous, so that when you are actually maybe hosting it online, it does not put so much task on the bandwidth or loading time. So I prefer to use the CDN. It's what we call CDN. So to do that, we go to our browser. Now let's go to Material Design Bootstrap page. So we go to Material Design Bootstrap 5, right? So it comes here. Now this is it. So what we're going to is what they call installation. So we scroll down here. We're picking the CSS and the JavaScript URL. So we'll come here first and look for. So this is it. So you can see them. We have the index.html. So we copy this. We copy this file, right? Just click on copy here. Then this file always goes within the head tag. So I'm going to explain these tags. HTML works with tags. These are ways of, think of them as coordinates for how your website needs to be arranged. So we're putting them here because that is where they are recognized. These are CDN files. So the next file we are putting it that's a JS file. So we just look for the JS file. So this is the JS file here. All right. Yeah, okay. So this is the JS file. I just wanted to make sure that we're using the up-to-date version. So the JS file, we just move it down here. It's always like at the bottom of the body. So the body is where all the information you are going to, where your website will start looking nice. That is where you're putting all this information in the body. You understand? So we come here. The next thing we do is now to put in what we need to do here. So one of the greatest things about this is that you can go to their documentation. So what the next thing we are doing here, because if you notice in our sample here, we have the navbar, we have I call this the hero section. This is like the first banner, or you can call it the first banner. It contains the useful information someone needs to see at a glance. But before we do this, I want us to get this font well. So I think the name of this font, apologies, let me check the file again. The name of this font is hold on, let me check. There's always a name of the font, so because I had to make sure I put the name. There's a place where you can get different fonts to put on your website. So the name of the font is Monument this. So we're going to just copy, I'm going to leave that below as well. So there's a website called Online Web Font. So this is where you get your font. So I like to use, you can use the default font if you want, but me, I like to use a custom font. So we have Monument font here. So now the next thing we're going to do is that let's try and link this page with our index.css. So to link the page with our index.css, we say link href index.css, then well, it has to put this, you have to put style sheets, and then like this. So from this now, sorry, I want to close it here. So from this now, we've kept all of this. So if you come to the index.css, we need to set our font family. So font family is more like the font type they are using. So in my own case, I'm putting Monument. Let me see the name. Sometimes it's always good to just go back and look at the name. So come here, look at Monument. Where is it? So we put in all of this. So I'm going to explain where we got all of this from. Now, if we go to this URL, let's just go to this URL. Oops, sorry, mistake. I meant to remove this. So we come to this URL now. This is a web font URL. So if we check for Monument, so this is it here. So we click on this. Now you see all the properties that we need. We just extract them from here. So we've taken this already into the head file. Then we put this in the CSS file here. All we have to do is come here, move this down, put it here. Then we take in this is what I was looking for, font family. So as you can see that everything is really available online if you just look at it well. So we put this. I think this one goes to okay, that one stays on its own as well. So we just place that on its own like this. We can also put star. So this star, so now we explain what we're doing with star and body. Star means you want it to affect everything. Body means it's just going to affect whatever it is in the body tag, right? That's what we're trying to say here. So we've done that, and let's give that. Let us do a sample. Let us type something inside the body here. Go back to your index.html file. Type in the body there. Then let's open our folder, or let's refresh this. So this is our folder already. So as you can see this, it's already there, but I don't know what is this. Oh, okay, sorry. I think it's from here. So Where is this error coming from? Oh, sorry, move this. Yeah. So as you can see, this is what we have. Now you can see that it's taking the font type already. So we are good to go. So we've linked our CSS, we've linked the font URL. We can take out this. This is just a default font type. We can take this away. So we have this. So the next thing we are going to do is, I forgot, we did not put the icon here. We notice there's an icon in our header here where it displays what is actually on the website. So we have to bring that in. It's like a logo. So what you do is the way to actually achieve that is to the same way we did the linking for the CSS, but this time we're going to be doing link for icon. So we call this icon. Then we say href. Href means you are linking. So we say href, then look for the logo, right? Then we put in the type. So the type is a PNG. So we say image slash PNG. So these are syntaxes that we follow. So make sure if you want to build any other website, you can use this as a reference. I'll be coming here to check to know you're on the right track. So now if we go back to our page and we refresh this, you see that we have the icon here now. You see this icon is there. So congratulations, you've made like you've gotten to the point whereby you have implemented the icon and the web tab to have the information you need, and you've also been able to link your CSS. You've also been able to link a website, a what do you call it, the website fonts and everything. So congratulations on that. So the next thing we do now, this part is going to be quite easy. So we go back to our documentation for where we have. Don't close this page because we're going to work a lot with this page. Like I said, this is a CSS framework. They have everything that we need there. So next thing we do is to go to where we have navigation, because we're working with the navigation bar first. So we come to navbar. Right, so you can see samples of nav bars they've done already, and they are responsive, meaning that even on smaller screens they will still show very nicely. So I'm looking for one that spreads across, it has like let me look. So this is not bad. I'm looking for the one that goes across, like this is it here. So we come here, we copy code, we show the code. So you don't really need to do much. So you just come, copy this code. We're going to customize this to what we want. So we come here on body, we place this is still on the body. So we have, this is the nav. So this is the nav, see if it closes now. This is the nav tag. The nav tag allows us to create a navigation bar, because that is what this is called. This is a navigation bar. A navigation bar is more like a map towards that leads you to two different pages in a website. So, and it always has a logo and the rest. So what we're going to do now, we've done that. Always make sure you control S. Anytime you make a change, press control S to save, so you can see the changes on the web page. Or you can come to auto save, go to file and auto save, so it will be saving it for you rather than you pressing control S every time. So we come back here to our blank page. As you can see, we have this, right? So it has not yet implemented itself. So we have to know exactly why it's like that. Okay. I forgot to put in the CSS for, oh, apologies. I forgot to copy and paste the CSS installation CDN. So sorry. Let me go back again. If you have done that, you don't need to do this anymore. I forgot. I didn't know that I didn't put it. So we come back here. We look for this. Then we go back here and we just place it in. I don't know how I forgot to do this. Oh, sorry. I'm going back to the folder. I think I must have missed the right folder. So okay, yeah, sorry, this is it. This is the folder you copy, these three, right? So I don't need to confuse you, sorry. Just come here. You can just place this. So we're not taking anything out that much, so we're just taking this. And so I'm going to explain what those three URLs are. So the first one is the font. We call this font awesome. This is going to allow us to get icons that we need, icons on our web page. This is the library for it. The next one is the fonts, Google font, but we don't need this because we've already imported a font size already to this. So the next one is, this is the main thing we're trying to put, MDBUI kit. So this is the main CSS library. So now, if you notice, our web page was looking funny before like this, but if I refresh, now you can see this. Now we have the actual navigation bar, right? And it's quite responsive because I think I don't want to use this part again now. It's quite responsive because now if we say inspect is the way we get to see if it's responsive. So you can see it's coming. So on different sizes, it needs to appear, right? So the next thing we do is to adjust that, because if you notice in our sample here, everything is here. So we're going to edit this in a way that, so you see this part where it says container fluid. Container fluid means that it's going to take the entire web width. But what we're doing is we're just taking part of it. We want to centralize. We want to bring it to a more visibility spot. So if we save this, we remove that fluid and refresh this again. As you can see now, we can see it's no longer at the edges. It's now together, like it's coming together. So the next thing we do is to make the font small. Then also let's put in our logo first. So we're going to change that logo from that. So we're going to change the logo from that to we call it logo, right? Then so we're going to work with a class called img fluid for img. So img means img tag. That is what renders images. Then src is like source. So if you notice, like I told you before, create a folder for img because we are going to be getting all our images from this particular place, right? So that is exactly what we have done. So the only thing we're going to be doing now is we're going to be calling a class here called img fluid. The img fluid is a class, and it exists within Bootstrap or Material Design Bootstrap. So the next one we're going to be doing is to we have to give it a size, because we don't want it to overwhelm the web page itself. So we give it a size. So we come down here. So as you can see, this, but it's not yet big enough. So we have to make the size to be big, to slightly bigger than this. So I think I'll give it like 120 pixel. That's what it means. Sorry, pixel. So okay, so we're getting there. So as you can see now, it's making sense, right? So the next thing we're going to do is to put this here. So now, like I said, we only get all of this from the website. So we're going to be editing it from here. So next what we're going to do is come. So we have this ME. What changes to, I think, MX should centralize it for us, I guess. Yeah, okay, that's it. So we've centralized this. Now we're going to go into the index.css file, because we want to now make some customizations to our nav bar. So first we're going to say we're affecting the tag. So I'm going to explain what we're doing here. Now we want to say, okay, I don't like the fact that, so I'm going to take this away first. Sorry, take this away from so you can take this away from the nav class, just to make sure you are following what I'm doing. So we have the nav class here, the nav bar, sorry, the nav tag here. So nav tag now is containing all of this, right? This is the nav tag. Everything here is the nav tag. Now I don't want to be seeing this shadow under it. I don't want to see it. So what I do is I come to my index.css file. Then I'll type for nav tags. You just do nav. For anything tags, you just write it direct and do open curly braces and close it. Then we say box shadow. This is why I say you make sure that you are using Visual Studio code, because it will bring out all the properties that you need. Box shadow. So with box shadow equals to none. So it's supposed to take this out for us, but I think I'm missing something. I think I should. Oh, sorry. Let me just call it as a class. So let's call this as a class. So I'm going to do like this. All right. So for classes, right, you're going to put dots. This. All right. So that is how you call class. A class must always have a dot in front. A tag does not need to have a dot in front if you are going to customize it. So if we do like this now and we refresh, it's not still. What's going on? Let me check the other browser. So it's going to, oh sorry, we need to override it. Sorry, I made a mistake. So so we have this, right? Now we need to override this because remember what I said, like the material design bootstrap are using, these are existing CSS files somewhere in the library, but we can always overwrite it by saying important. So important means that whatever, if this class is inside the library that from the URL that we took from their website, is going to overwrite it. So meaning that important means that, okay, it's saying that, okay, I know you exist somewhere in the material design library, but I need you to work for whatever it is I want you to do, and I want it to be priority. That's why I'm putting important here. So now if we refresh that page, you see the shadow line, you will not see there again. So as you can see, it's no longer there. Is that not beautiful? But if that important was not there, it will still be showing, because that particular code is already written in the URL that we are using now. That's from this URL, from this library. We call it a library. From this MDB library, is already there. You understand? So that is it. So the next one we're going to be doing is we're going to actually be we're going to customize it more than that. So we're going to be putting, let's change the font size, because I don't like the fonts to be that big. So the font size of everything in our navigation tag, we're going to give it font size, let's say 13. So as you can see now, it's smaller. Now we're going to be separating this a bit. I feel like they are too congested, they are too close together. So in order for us to actually do that, we have to what they call it, we have to use something to separate them, right? So this is what we're going to do. So we come back here. Now remember, we're using a class navbar, and for us to now be more specific, we're going to be using what they call we're going to be focusing on this particular class, because if you notice, they are the ones that carry the text. You see this UL means that all these things, they are inside they're inside like a list. So you can see this is the list 1, list 2, list 3. So we're giving them a name here. So we want to separate them. They are too congested in the code here. So we need to separate them to give them that space like what we have here. So what we do about that is to come here. Let's copy this navbar -nav. That is a class. So meaning that if it's a class, what do? You put a full stop and put the name of the class there. And then now, for us to give it that space that we want, we're going to use what they call padding left, padding right, margin left, margin right. Padding left, padding right means that you are giving it some sort of padding, right? When I mean padding, like each of those texts now, they will have their own environment. So they will be spacing themselves out. I'm going to explain what I mean. So let's say we give this a 20px. We give the next one a 20px as well. Then, then we come margin left, margin right, right? So this is just going to help us to focus what's margin left. Give it the same 20. We're just trying to keep everything as equal as possible, right? So then margin right. So we give this 20 as well. Now, before we do any other thing, then let's give this a color. I'm sorry, because I don't like it's too faint. The colors are too faint. Because if you look at the colors here, if you look at the color used, they are very black. But if we look at the one that I kept here, they're too faint, so we want to let those colors be clear. So I'm going to give it, because normally the default color that a web page gives your website is faint, like grayish. It's gray in color. You understand? So this is how we do it. Okay, something is wrong. So let's see what exactly is wrong. So it's supposed to at least give us, oh sorry, I forgot to be specific. So you are supposed to direct this to the li. So when I mean li, let me explain. Now remember, we have the class. Everything inside this class is called navbar nav, but each of these links have a tag attached to them. This is the list tag, right? So we're just trying to say, okay, we're calling the leaf tag, the li tag into this. We're trying to be specific, directing it to the li tag, right? So if we refresh this now, it's supposed to give us something. So you can see that it has separated everything, but still it's still not black. So you can come here, copy, leave this. I think it's supposed to be here. Then so now something is wrong. Why is it not giving us? Maybe I should, let me mark it as important as well. So override it. So okay, still not overriding it. I need to check what exactly is wrong here. So another thing we can do is let's go back here. So nav item. So I think let's just use that nav item or nav link. So let's come here to be more specific. We'll come here, nav link. So let's give this a color black. I think this should work now. Let's remove this one. Yeah, so you can see now it's now black in color. You understand? So we've been able to achieve that actually. So the next thing we do now is to put in all our necessary things. But I feel like this font should be smaller again. I want it to be smaller than 13. So let's give it 12. And just to be more specific, you can take away this font size here and to still affect it, to still affect this. So I think, so you see now it's smaller. So it's smaller now. So what we're going to do next, is to put in all the necessary information. So about show and the rest. So let's do that now. So let's come here. Now, in order for you to link the pages, where you click one page and it takes you to the next, that's when you have this href. But let's say we have another file called, let's say, about.html. So yeah, we'll just put in about.html. You understand? So, but because we don't have anything there, we're just going to leave it as ash. Ash just means that it should just be empty. So let us focus on the landing page for now. So you have about show. We have seasons, characters, right? We have seasons. We have characters. We have supports. So we can just copy and paste. Just copy this and go under it again and paste, just like it has been doing for you that time. So characters. We have supports. So for this support and contact us, let them go to a different place. So if you notice, at this other edge, we have something there. So we can take this away. So we can come here and say, can take this away. This one has like a drop down, some sort of. So we can just take that away. We don't need all of that. So we can come back here, take all of this. I don't think we need it. So we just stop away it as UL. Yeah, so I think we can just take all of this away. So we can put in our own here. Let me see how it looks. Oh, okay, so we're not putting the UL, so we can just come here, copy this, put it here, then close it with UL. I think this should work. Then just be at, then just change this one to MR. That is right, so straight at the right, I guess. Okay, yeah, so we are good now. So that MR you see, that is right. If I remove this and put X, it will join into the other ones, I think. Okay, it's the same because it's at the other side, so it's fine. So yes, if you notice, I didn't really use big. I mean, I didn't use caps lock, but you can use caps lock if you want. So you can say about show. And just use caps lock just to make it the same as what we have in our sample. Characters. Supports the contact. So that contact us now is going to be a bit different because that one is a button. So now we have contact us, right? So this one we're putting it in the button. Let's call this contact us. Now let's give this an ID. An ID is just to be specific because all of them have nav links. So we don't want to go and customize in index or CSS for just one specific thing that is affecting every other thing. We just want to be more specific. So we just call this one contacts. Right now for IDs on your CSS, for IDs is different. But like I said, this Bootstrap has helped us a lot, so we can just put in button first. BTM but it's going to give it all the button properties that we need. So if we come here, as you can see it's looking different. It has put inside like a button. Now we're going to style that button, right? So we're picking this. Let us style it. So we come back here. Then we say nav link button. Button 2 is a class, so it's like this. So we can say background color. Let's say background color. Let's say Dodger blue. Let's see whether it affects this. Okay. Let me just use ID and see contacts. I think that should. Yeah, so that is it. So we're using the ID. So next one we're going to do is padding. We've given the background color, so let's give it padding. Padding is to not allow the boxes to be choking it like this. So if you see the way it looks like before now, if it be fresh, okay, that's too much. That's too much. So you can say 12. Let's see. Okay, that's fine. Then we can say color white. So we're changing that black color to white. Then we can say border radius. Border radius is just to give the corners of the buttons some kind of curve, you know. So yeah, you see that? Now we see that it's looking the same as this, although I think it's a different color. Okay, let's just leave this as black then. I think it's better as black because it's black here, so I don't want to confuse you. So we have this now, right? I think it's looking nice. It's looking good now. So let me check something. So let's change this to lock to R. So we have this. I think it's looking like this now. But this one's like the fonts are way smaller as well. So let's see if we can. I don't know how small the font is already, but let's see. Okay, better now. So this is it. This is okay, right? So we have all of this information now. So we are good with the nav bar. So if you look at responsiveness, oh shit, sorry. I think I forgot something. It's not looking so nice yet, so let's see what the problem is. Like simple group. So just change this, just follow my lead and change this to, okay, it's not inside the folders, it's not inside the tag. So we're coming here and we're bringing all of this. Now if you click on this, it tells you where it's closing. You see all this. Now you see the tags, right? There's what they call open tag and close tag. So we have opened the tag here, we're closing it. See, we're putting that slash sign at the back to show that we have closed the tag. So for you to locate it so it does not get mixed up, you just click on one, it will tell you where the close tag is. Just copy it like that. Let's put it inside the collapsible. We didn't put inside the collapsible wrapper. That's why it's not showing. That's why it is showing outside here. So you see, now we're good to go like this, right? But in this case as well, I want it to show outside. I want the navbar I want the logo to be showing outside. It's not like this. I don't like this. It's okay like this, but it should not be like that. I don't know if that makes sense. So what we're going to do is, everything is inside the wrapper, right? So we come here, we pick this, it comes before that. So we're doing, for example, we're going to do from here, navbar brand. So it's going to come before this button. So it's going to be the first thing we see, because definitely. So I think this should work. Then for the button, we do, let's bring this one up here. As you can see, I'm leaving comments, so just make sure you are following with what you are seeing here. So the button starts from here. So now you see, and now it's looking good. Now you see. So this is what I, so there was a bit of rearrangement I had to do, so just to achieve this. So now it looks good. Now the next thing we're going to do is, we have done the nav bar now, so we can collapse this. So this is everything inside here. Inside there's this arrow here, just open to see everything, close it. So we have done the nav bar. Next thing we're going to do is focus on the hero section, like this part. Here we have an image and we have the text, right? So for us to achieve this, we're going to do I'm going to give it a spacing, because if we put anything here, it's still going to be directly under. There's no spacing, there's no gap. That's what I'm talking about. You see? So there's no gap. So we're going to come here. We're always going to be using containers, because that's our new section. But for that, let's call this section tag. We're going to use a section tag. Let's call this section tag, right? Then inside this section tag, we're just going to call this hero section. Give it a class called hero section. Then inside the section tag, we're going to create a container, because it's the same container property that we use to put everything in one place so that it can be viewable. So this is going to come in here. So next what I'm going to do, I'm going to be using big text. So I'm going to create, so whenever you use div class, div means you're assigning a custom class. That's what the div tag is used for. You're assigning a custom class. So I'm assigning another custom class called, let's say, header text. I'll just call this header text. Right, so the header text now will be this big information you're seeing here. But now let's give our things some space. We don't want it to be too congested. We want a space between the navbar and whatever that follows next. So to do that, we're going to come to div here and give a class called spacing. Then we're going to customize this spacing. This spacing will just going to be like this. There's nothing is going to be inside the tag. So we come here, then we come to this, to our CSS, and create a spacing class. Then we're going to give it margin top, let's say 20px. So then we come back here, then we'll go to our header tag, right? Let's copy this text, explore, watch, and laugh. But the laugh carries a different property, so we're going to put h1. So it's what they call h1, h2, h3. Those are tags for texts. The bigger the number, the lesser the number, the bigger they are. So we have h1 to I think h8 or so. That, so let me check for that so I know what I'm saying. So if we see H1, I think we can check. We see H. So you can see we have H1 to H6 here. So we're just going to use H1. Then we are going to say explore lab. But now we want to make a difference there. So this one is going to have a different color, right? So we want to give it a different color, and we're going to give a different color. So let's do line. So we're going to do what they call inline CSS. Just it's like having external CSS, but this one I just want to put it straight here. So color, just put style, then color. You put in Dodger blue. You close it. So let's come to where we have our. So I see it's making sense, but it's not centralized and it's not big enough yet. So let's now customize our header text. So we come here, we say header texts. So then let's give the text, let's make it slightly big. I mean, it's big already, but it needs to be slightly bigger than that. Then let's give it a color, black. Not centralized it yet. So text align, centralize. Just you get used to these properties. I can't start explaining all the properties, but I'll explain as I'm going. I think it's already explanatory enough. So font size, color, and the rest. So if you come here and refresh, so you can see now it's in the middle. As you can see now, there's a spacing here. It's not too much, but that spacing needs to be more. I want it to be like 30. So if you come here and refresh, see it came down a bit, but let's see. This text is still not giving what I want. Okay, maybe we need to. Sorry, we actually need to add that text. It's supposed to have taken effects. Let's see. Because the class, that's why. Okay, you know what? It's fine. We can say, let's be more specific, right? So let's say now we have the header text class here. We're going to create another one called header texts. Remember, it's a class, so header text. The H1 is a tag, so we do like this. Let's say font size, because the font size is not really increasing, so I want to know why. 30px. I think this should work now. Okay, now it's working. So let's give this 70. Oh, that's too much. So we can come to like 50. I want to make sure that it's still big enough on mobile view as well. So if we come to mobile view, this is centralized now. So if we come to like the mobile view of this, inspect. So it's not looking bad. It's okay. Right? You can make it slightly smaller if you want. So if you want to make it slightly smaller, we can just give this like a 45 or something. Just make it decent. So I think we are doing well. So the next one now is to put a sub. I call this a sub header. A sub header. So the next thing we do, we're going to create a sub header class as well. So we have an header text here. So we just copy this and call this a sub header. We don't want them to clash. Sub header. There we can give this a sub header. We can give this sub header like, let's say, an H4. Remember, the bigger they are, the bigger the numbers, the smaller it becomes. So then we copy the text that is there. We're still going to customize that to what we want. So you come here, pick this, do this. So then we come to our CSS file, right? So say dash sub header texts. Sorry, mistake. Sub header texts. No, this. We then say color, of course, black. Text align. Also center. Then we call in the H4, right? So we have H4. Then we say font size. I think let's say 25 is fair. 25px is fair. So, oh, it's too much, too big. We don't want it to overshadow the actual header. So let's say 15. Okay, 15 is not bad. Then we can give this let's give this a width, a bit of width, because we don't want it to be too long. So I'll explain what the width does. So you come here now. So not like that. Let's say width 80. Okay, should be padding. I think there's padding. So we can give this a padding, so a margin, yeah, so a margin. Margin left and right. We want it to be together. Let's set. I hope it works. 20 and 20. I hope it works. Let's increase it a bit. Say 50, 50. All right, it's not bad. So just like we have here, where I want it to be like where. So for that to happen, I guess what we can do is we can give it a break tag here. So I'll explain what a break tag. So if you say BR, that's a break tag. So what that means is that it's good to move whatever line. You see the way it is here now, where like that. So it's just going to move from this place to the next line. So like you see this like this. So we've done that now. We have our we have everything in place here. So if we come here and let's see how it looks. So not looking bad actually. But let's take her that way. Maybe let's take out that break. I think it looks okay without the break. It's okay. So if we put this in perspective now, you see everything is balanced. I like to see everything like this. So now we are getting somewhere. The next thing. So let's take this out a bit. Don't need this again. We'll leave it like this. So sorry, just trying to check something. To check something. It's handy. It's alright. Let me give this a percentage instead. I think a percentage should be far more better. Because yeah, you have to really know your metrics. What consumes more space, percentage or px? Well, that is why I'm here. Just follow what I'm doing, and with this, you should be confident to start your own web page for someone. Okay, so I think it's fine now. Now the next thing we do is to put in the image. Next one, the image here, family guy image here. So okay, the buttons. Yeah, well, we've not done the buttons. So for us to centralize the buttons, now we need to centralize the buttons. So there are easy ways of doing this. I'm just going to do a fast way for you so you can centralize the buttons. First one to do, I like to do center tag and not waste time. But first, let's copy this spacing as well. Remember the spacing. Then we're still in the section, so we'll just come here, put spacing here. You get, so this is our text part here. So we're doing the spacing so we can put in the button. If we see that the spacing is too much, we'll change that as well. So let's see. Let's call this one align item center. So here we have button. So let's just create a small button here. We'll just call this one learn more or something. I'm still going to check what it is there. I'm still going to style these buttons by the way. So I'm just trying to put them in place first. And next one is this. So we come here. Okay, we've not kept them in the center, so it's not coming to the center yet. So for it to come to the center, deflex, I think something like this. It's not still working. I think that should be deflex. Trying to remember the actual properties. I want to use center tag, but at the same time, I don't want center tag is like poor programming. It's like poor programming this thing. So it's going to be I don't think I've used justify. Deflex. Trying to remember the actual class. It's going to be okay. So I'm just going to copy this. Come to our index.css, and they are both classes. So let's say text align center. Then it is gonna work. Okay. I'm going to do going to do so yeah, I know there was justify content center. I forgot. Sorry about that. I was trying to remember. You have to know all these classes. Justify. So we can take this out again. It's going to be justify. I was trying to remember the actual class name. So justify content center. So I think this should, yeah, this will work. So that's it. Then we have to separate these two. I think the buttons are two they are two together, you know. So what we are going to do is to assign a class to them. Right now they're just normal regular buttons, but if we say class btn, you can even say btn. If we do btn primary, that's also a class as well. We can copy this and put it here as well. So what would that do? Transforms this for us. So I think the gap here is too much. So we have to put in a gap here. Let's call this gap. I think that should, yeah, that gives it. So it gives this a gap. The gap was just too much. So now we're trying to customize this to what we want. So let's call this one btn1. No, btn, then btn1. Then we'll call this one btn2. Because if you notice in our sample here, they look different. One has like a full background color. The other one does not have. So we're going to work with that. So how do we do that? We come to our CSS file. Then we say btn.btn1. Then we give this a padding of, let's say, 12. We give this a background color of Dodger blue. We give this a color black. It's already black, so we give this a border radius of 20 px. Let's see. So if I go to refresh this now, what just happened? It's not okay. Let me see. Maybe something I am missing. ATM. Okay. Should direct it. Just focus on one. Okay, yeah, so that's it. So we've done for the first one, but I think let's add more padding to see. Let's do 18. I want it to be a bit, okay, yeah, it's getting bigger. So as you are increasing the padding, always ensure you are also adjusting the corners. So that's 34. Okay, so let's do for the second one. Second one should be BTN2. No, BTN2. So for BTN2, we're just going to have let's say background color should be, let's just put white. Then we're going to have what they call border. So border can be 2px solid and black. So that's the border around the button. Consider. So let's give it more space. 24. 24. Might have to increase the border radius as well. So let's set this like width 100. Then width 100. Too much, sorry. Let's let that go for now. Let's see how it looks on our mobile view. Okay, not so bad, but can be better. I think it's not 100%. So not so bad, but it can be better. Let's just reduce it a bit from here. Say 19. 10. Right, so that should work. That should be it. So each 100. Let me just try something. It's too much. I was just trying to check something. If you say width, right, 80%, let's see. All right, I think we're good here. So let's give it the actual text that is there. One is watch now, and the other one is explore. So let's say watch now. I'm sorry, instead of buttons, this is supposed to be an A tag. So something like href. Just change that to href. I just noticed. So A. And ensure you still leave the classes there. Sorry. Well, so we have A. Then we have A as well. Href is going to be hashtag in there. So let's leave it like this. So you can easily go into different pages if you want to. So it doesn't change anything. So we've done that. Now the next spacing. Remember, we're still in one section here. Let's copy this spacing again. This time is for the image that we're going to be putting. So we come here. Spacing. Now let's copy what we have here. You know, here we centralized everything. So centralizing here again. I think we're going to use container. So okay. So yeah. So just be on the safe side. Just put container. Yes. Something. Yeah. So next one, spacing. Then we copy this line again. But this time we're removing this part. So don't forget to close the tag. If you press Ctrl/ to close whatever tag that has not been closed, then we'll put in the img tag. Remember image. This is the first one. Then we'll put class img fluid. That is just to call the properties of the img tag for Bootstrap. I refresh this. We should see the image now. Oh, sorry, that's not the right image. I should be. What's the first image again? I think this should be it. Yeah, okay, that is it. But there's a problem. So we're going to give this a width of 600 px. So let's say 600 px. So let's see. Now it's looking good. So it was too big for us that time, so we had to give it a width of 600 px. So if you come here now, see it's making sense. It's making sense. Family Guy. I enjoy Family Guy, by the way. So we're getting somewhere. So now we're done with the first section of the website. So you can see it's the same. You can make yours slightly bigger, or depending on what you want. But I can make this bolder if I want to. I think to make this bolder, a bit much bolder is let's come here and say font width should be 800. That will make it a bit bolder. I think it can be bolder than that. So we come here and you can see now it's a bit bolder. That is it. So we are good to go from here. So the next thing is to work on the next section here, and that is this. All right. Yeah, we have what they call what's the name? We have what they call rows and columns. That's what they call rows and columns. As you can see, this is a row and this is a column. So in order to do that, I'm going to come here. Remember to always carry that spacing tag. Yeah, I'm always doing, just to give it that space, so you don't have to be calling it every time. So next section, space tag. So I'll call this one and that section. This is another section, and we'll call this section, let's call it second section. Just go so it doesn't confuse each other. So second section, that's what we're calling it. So the next thing we do is to call a div container inside this. So now we've done that. So I'm going to give this another text about show. But first, let's work with what this second section was supposed to do for us. So as you can see, we have our CSS file. Everything is linked. So second section. I'm just going to give this a padding. I don't know if it already has it. I don't know. No, sorry, a margin top. Right? Let's call it a margin top for now. 12. Let me see. Then we're going to have another header here. So this other header, I think we can still make use of the same properties that we use for this. So we can call the header here, maybe text. Then we can call this, maybe too big, so let's go with h4, about show. So we can come here, back to our CSS file, copy the one that we had here before, and just change it to h4. So we are duplicating this, then we are giving this one h4. And we can make it, I don't want it to be too big, so let's see how 26px comes out. But rather, and then give it a color. Sorry, color white. So the color white. Now let's see. Oh yeah, we won't be able to see it, so we've not kept the background color here. So I'm going to give that same section, second section, We're going to give it a background color, Roger blue. So we come here. Okay. Supposed to get the let's start with the container. So take out this container, take it out, and just call it inside the second section container here. That should do what we want it to do. Yeah, that's it. So now we have to give this more padding. Padding is to give it enough space. So let's say padding. So let's see. You can see now it's making sense, right? So that's it. So I think it's making sense now. Well, I think we can take away this space in here because we want it to look like their feet is actually on the background on the next section. So like as if their feet is on it. So I think it's okay like this. Got the spacing. I think we need more space in here. So let's say 23. And let us cut the other spacing and put it there. So just use this spacing and put it just above this so that there'll be space inside it. So something like you can see now it's close to the top. So you do like that. You can see now it's down there. So let's make this slightly bigger. I'm gonna H4. Let's say 29. Let's see how it is. Okay. Let's make it bigger again. Let's say 39. All right, fine. That was it. So the next one we do is to give it a row and a column. So in order to do that, what do we do? So we come here. Now the good thing is that we don't need to start styling the rows and columns ourselves. Or we can do it from here. So we can say div class row. Now, mind you, they are together. Then we have div class column. So we're going to give this. So these are numbers. So here is going to have the text. The other one is going to have the image. So then we are going to put here what they call MB3. MB3 is to make sure that okay, the spacing when it's on mobile view. You know, when it's on mobile view, don't be together like this. They'll be on top each other. So let me show you what I mean. So let me go to the existing one. If I inspect now on mobile view, now you can see they are above each other like this. So that's not what that's what we want. So if we let's see how this one looks on mobile view so far. It's looking good. So now let's continue. So we can give this spacing. Let's call this spacing here again. Then from here we'll just put in our text. So I think it was let's use P. So P means paragraph because that's the paragraph we're about to put now. But let's call this one paragraph texts. We're still going to style it. So let's take it what we have there. So can have for each paragraph, right? So first one. Second one, third one. Now remember, everything is inside this column. This row is what contains these columns. If this column is outside this row, it will not look good. It will not arrange the way it's supposed to arrange. So let me show you what I mean. Now if we refresh this, as you can see this. But now we need to style it so that it will look nice. So we can come here, paragraph texts. So now inside this paragraph text, we now have what they call color white. We have color white. So if we refresh, see now is white. So I think it's looking good. So let's just copy the many parts of the text and replace them. Remember, we have a button here. That button should not be a problem. We can just copy what we have created as buttons earlier. So let's refresh our page now. As you can see, it's making sense, right? Let's just reduce the text size, the font size of those things. So let's say font size 19px. 19px is too big. It's too big. So let's say 15. Better. Then for the other side, we'll put in our image. So like I said, we're giving them same equal sizes. So let's see where this one stops. Okay, so we're applying direct here under the next. So here we're going to copy our image file. We're going to copy our image file, our img tag. Let's just go and pick it from here. I don't want to waste time. So the good thing about this one here is that we don't need to put any width here. It will give it the width that fits it. So let us remove this image here and put another image. So the next image here should be this. So when we come here, as you can see now, it's looking nice, right? So this is it. So the only thing we can do here now is we can give this a height, right? So we can give this one like a height of let's see, we can give this like a height. Maybe no need. When we move to the next section, I think you will see it from there. So now we've done the second section. So let's look at it again. So first section, second section done. Now the next one we're going to do is this part, right? So in order to get that part done, we'll just come to spacing again. Remember, we're going to open a different section. So this section is done. So spacing here, then the next section. So let's call this one third section. Now third section, we're going to have a container, div class container to cover it up. So then we're going to have under header tag here. You can still use the same header tag that we used h4, right? So h4, and what will be written there is seasons. So let's refresh this page now and see what we have. Okay, sorry, it's let's just give this a different, let's see h5, because I want us to give it a different property because it's still taking that property of the other one. So this is it here. We'll just call this one h5, then take this out. Okay, so you can call this one header seasons. Let's just call this header seasons. Then we come back here. We change this header text here to header seasons. To give the header seasons its own So color black. Too big. So let's reduce the font here. All right. So as you can see, it's making sense. Sorry, I forgot to put in the button here. So we can take this button here. Let's come here, learn more button. Let's place it directly under here. Sorry. Yeah, that's fine. Or if you want to just create your own button, you can create our own button if you want. So just like we've done that here, BTN 1, 2, and the rest. I don't want that border to be there, so I'm going to take out the border. But this will be for a different BTN. This will be BTN 3, as we have named it there. So BTN 3, then it's going to be moving this one. So yeah, that's fine. Okay, it's view more. So let's call this view more. So I just noticed that we didn't put that button there. So I'll say view more. That's fine. Let's inspect this to see how it looks now. Always make sure that your website is responsive, or else, because these days people use mobile phones a lot. So it's always very necessary for your website to also look nice. So you see. So seasons. So for seasons now, we now put like a cross around it, like a line. We call it HR line. HR HR line. Then on that HR line again, we're going to put, we can copy and paste this if you want. Just say H6. So let's call this H6 is smallest, and say season 1. So because of time, I'm going to stop here for now for today. You could also figure out how to do the rest, but now next one we're going to be finishing this. So this is it. This is what we've done so far. So remember, we have talked about how the website looks like and everything. So you can see that we're making progress. So if we refresh this again, if we put it on mobile view, sorry, is it so? As you can see, it's making sense, right? So congratulate yourself if you have gotten to this point of the tutorial. And in our next class, we're going to be finishing this up, right? So yes, thanks for joining. So there you have it, guys. I hope we're able to get a few things from this class. So first of all, I explained HTML and CSS, and I also explained JavaScript. Then we're able to do from the navigation bar down to the third section of the web page. And the reason I did that is because I want to make sure that as you are watching the videos, you are seeing new things. I don't want to overwhelm you with too much code. So from there, we're also able to get images, able to organize our folder and started programming. We're able to build half of at least the Family Guy page, and I'm sure you feel very good, doing your first web landing page. It's very easy. It's just for you to understand the structure of the website. Like I said, just like as you have it, there's always, think of it as the human body. There's head, there's body, there's feet, and the rest. So that's how it is. So please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. In our next class, we're going to be finishing up with the landing page. So stay tuned for a part 3 of this of this particular module. And I hope by the end of the module, or by the end of this class, you will be able to confidently, at least, you can still make references to the video whenever you try something new, try to do some things, because I feel like I've touched on some major properties. I think the reason I've not touched on are maybe how to use table, how to design tables and the rest, but you already know that we work with an MDB file, and that MDB file, you can go to components and see other tags you can use, other properties on components you can use. And from there, I'm sure you'll be good to go. All you have to do is now learn how to customize them to your own tastes. So yes, thank you. And I'll be leaving all the files and the links below in my description. So please, and also don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And yeah, see you in the next class. Bye.